example. A second one, when I look at this about how do we deal with this humanitarian crisis, is actually recognizing that charity is the problem. We're the problem. We are the bottleneck. We have professionalized crisis, where unless you are working for a charity, or unless you are volunteering for a charity, you can't help these communities. I was sitting there and looking at how I'm inundated every week with dozens of offers of beds, fridges, clothing, spare rooms, mentoring, friendship, a job. And most of the time I'm having to say no, because you don't have the architecture, you don't have the help, can't take it on, nowhere to store it, can't pick it up, can't deliver it. And I'm sitting and thinking, I've got 3,000 people waiting to volunteer at the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre that we can't take on at the moment. That's 1 million hours of goodwill untapped sitting there. Millions more that's being offered. And recognising we're the problem. We've become, as a helping sector, not just in the refugee space, but everywhere, we've become an industry. We should be there to triage at times of crisis and criticality. Like, as a lawyer and as a social worker, there are things I can do that I wouldn't outsource to the public community, like have a go at representing that guy in court. There are critical things that I need to do. But outside of crisis, why can't the community be the solution? When my parents came in the 60s, there were no migrant resource centres and settlement services. There was the old thing called community. They were living 12, 14, 15 to a house, but community took them in. So for all the polls and all the stuff that we're hearing about how Australians view them, I don't actually think that represents Australia. I think it's probably about 1/3 of this country that is racist, and that generation just needs to die out. Let's be honest, yeah? 1/3 that's hearts are open right now, and that 1/3 is millions. It's not a minority. And then another 1/3 sitting there going, well, I've been told to hate and fear these people. So what if we linked them together? What if we built a platform that allowed every single Australian that wanted to help to do so right now? And that's what we're doing. I call it the Platform for Compassion. So I'm just trying to get the funding. The funding, $500,000, and this becomes a reality. So I'm going to find a way. And this Platform for Compassion works really simply. You go onto your computer and you open up a platform. And you click one of 3 things. 1, I have a room to offer a refugee or a family. Click. 2, I have furniture to offer a family that's just come out of detention that's sleeping on bare floors with nothing. Click. I'm happy to collect it, get my mates together, and we'll deliver it. Or 3, I'm wanting to offer social inclusion. My family, to adopt a family, to take you out on a picnic, to welcome you into our community, into our synagogue, into our church, into whatever it may be. Click, click, click. Suddenly you have an army of millions taking 40,000 people in absolute crisis and ending that. Why should any of these people be in crisis when there are so many good Australians out there? Suddenly, homelessness, gone. People living in destitution without the basics that you need to settle, gone. People living in isolation that drives people to suicide, gone. Just by unlocking the potential of the Australian community, unlocking compassion. It's not complicated. And then the flip side, revitalising the refugee movement that's being broken by the fact that it doesn't know how to respond. It's on its knees at the moment. So you save a movement, you empower a community, and you tackle a solution at its heart. By going, you know what? When government fails, we're going to go around it. Community is going to become the new government. It's going to become the new leaders. So there are 2 examples of solutions, real things we can do to tackle part 1, which is how do we